Bloomberg has learned that ASML cancelled shipments of some of its top-of-the-line chip-making machines to China at the request of the US, and that happened before export bans came into effect. Let's get the details now from Bloomberg's Jill Decis. And Jill, this is interesting because, it's no surprise that ASML is not going to be able to send some of its equipment to China, because we've heard about the change in regulation that was due to come in this month, I think. But what is perhaps surprising is that the US lent on ASML to make changes even before policy change. Give us some of the detail.
Yes, Anna, I think the big takeaway here is ultimately that there seems to be some, increased pressure from the U.S. on ASML to try to curb some of China's big tech ambitions. As you said, Anna, these restrictions were already going to go into effect as of January 1st. They wouldn't be able to ship this really top-of-the-line technology. ASML is the only company that produces this technology to China. But we've known that for quite some time. We've known that since the middle of last year, because we've seen that translate into China ultimately stockpiling shipments of this technology from ASML. Of course, you have to remember, though, that this reporting from Bloomberg comes, after China ultimately made some pretty big chip breakthroughs in the latter half of last year. We saw what happened with Huawei's Mate 60 Pro phone. That's their really high-end consumer phone that was produced by using technology from China's SMIC, the semiconductor company, but also that seemed to use at least some of ASML's technology. So ultimately what we're looking at here is that increased pressure from the United States to sort of nip things in the bud here and curb China's ability to import this technology even before this export ban ultimately took effect.
Jill, good afternoon. As you kind of made clear there, in many ways, this is just confirmation of a situation we're already very aware of, knew about. Kind of how does this move forward into 2024? What are we looking for as the next kind of catalyst in this story?
Yeah, so ultimately, Mark, I think what we're looking for is whether or not the Joe Biden's administration ratchets up additional pressure on China in a bid to sort of curb whether it be their chip-making ambitions, whether it be other advanced technology ambitions. We've obviously seen, this starting with the Trump administration, continuing into the Biden administration, these efforts to impose export bans, other types of restrictions to curb China's ability to access advanced technologies. I think what we need to look out for, especially in 2024, a U.S. presidential election year, is whether we see that pressure increase. This, obviously involving ASML, indicates that there is some additional pressure on the part of the Joe Biden administration, into the final weeks of 2023. Let's see whether that translates into additional curbs or restrictions on other forms of technology that could aid China going into this year.